officially nicknamed the Land Enchantment, but also known as the Colorful State. New Mexico was the 47th state to join the United States of America on January 6, 1912. It has a population of 2,096,082 people as of 2019, making it the 36th most populous state. New Mexico is bordered by the state of Oklahoma, Utah, Texas, Colorado, and Arizona. Hello friends, I am Vali Beiramzadeh. I am here with new video from its Incredible Facts 313 channel. Please subscribe my channel before watching video. I hope you enjoy from this video. Please stay with us.
Texas spectacularly failed when it tried to invade New Mexico. In 1835, the region, including modern-day Texas and New Mexico, was actually part of Mexico. In 1836, what we now call Texas seceded from Mexico and called itself the Republic of Texas. While doing so, it laid claims to large parts of the New Mexico region, including Santa Fe. The then president of the Republic of Texas, Mirabeau Lamar, sent a supposed trading expedition to Santa Fe. While it did include many merchants and their goods, it was also accompanied by a large detachment of men with artillery equipment. The expedition was doomed from the beginning, though. They brought half as much food as needed and lost their guide early on. By the time they finally stumbled into New Mexico, an armed force was waiting to greet them. The entire expedition was promptly captured and forced to march all the way south to Mexico City. 9. The U.S. took New Mexico by force in 1846. In 1846, the United States annexed the Republic of Texas. Mexico held that this region was a rebellious part of the country and took great offense. War broke out between the two nations as a result. During the war, the American General Stephen Kearny took control of New Mexico after he marched a force of more than 2,500 men, including cavalry, into Santa Fe. While the invasion was met by little resistance from the Mexican government, that wasn't the case with the residents. In 1847, local rebels unsuccessfully rose against U.S. rule, killing acting Governor Charles Brent in the process. By the time the rebellion was quashed, at least 300 native New Mexicans were dead. The following year, in 1848, New Mexico was made a U.S. territory with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. 10. The world's first atomic bomb was detonated in New Mexico. On July 16, 1945, the world changed forever with the detonation of the first ever atomic bomb. The bomb, nicknamed Trinity, was the culmination of years of efforts by some of the greatest minds in science at the time. The final stages of its development were carried out at a research facility in Los Alamos. The device's detonation was the final test and was carried out just 120 miles, 193 kilometers south of Santa Fe. You may also like, 3 times the world almost entered a nuclear war. 11. A nuclear bomb was accidentally dropped just outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was quite fortunate that the Mark 17 nuclear bomb was one of the first of its kind to include a failsafe that prevented any sort of accident causing a nuclear reaction. The reason that it's incredibly fortunate is that one of these bombs fell out of a B-36 bomber on May 27, 1957, just as the plane was nearing the Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico. While a nuclear detonation didn't happen, the primary explosives in the bomb still went off, which created a crater 25 feet (7.6 meters) wide and 12 feet (3.7 meters) deep. To love. The breakfast burrito was invented in New Mexico. Anyone who lived and died before the 1970s must have had a pretty bleak life, really. The breakfast burritos, at least as we know and love them today, weren't invented until 1975. Sure, people may have eaten burritos for breakfast before this, but they weren't eating a burrito stuffed with egg and potatoes for their first meal of the day. According to the breakfast burrito's creator, that is what makes it really stand out. The Santa Fe restaurant Tia Sophia's is responsible for birthing this culinary delight when they first put it on their menu in 1975. 13. A town in New Mexico built a school that doubled as a nuclear bunker. During one of the Cold War's scarier moments, the U.S. realized they needed more functional fallout shelters, and it was through this realization that the ABO Elementary School was built. The unique nature of the school lies in the fact that the entire building is underground, with just the playground above ground. It was also constructed to function as a nuclear fallout shelter if needed. The only entrances to the school itself are via 3 sets of stairs, each of them were protected by blast doors. According to the architect's plans, the shelter could withstand a 20 megaton blast. Unlike most schools, ABO had its own medical supply storage, well for drinking water, and even a morgue. The school continued to operate until 1995, but shut down due to high maintenance costs. 14. New Mexico is home to the largest white sand dune field. The White Sands National Park in New Mexico is one of those destinations second to none anywhere else on Earth. The park lies in the far south of the state, a little way out from the small town of Las Cruces. The dunes themselves take up a huge swathe of land, measuring around 275 square miles, 712 square kilometers. The dunes gain their white color from the sand itself, which is actually gypsum sand. 15. New Mexico has some outright ridiculous laws. New Mexico is no exception when it comes to holding on to silly or antiquated laws. For example, in the town of Las Cruces, it's illegal to carry a lunchbox down the main street. While it's legal to bet on horse races, it's illegal to bet on either ostrich or camel races. Speaking of horses, it's illegal to wear a kimono while riding a horse in Raton. Oh, and if you trip a horse and it gets hurt, it's a felony. New Mexico is a state that's forever surprising you. Most people would simply pass off the state as hot, dry wasteland and never bother making the trip. Anyone that does make it all the way south to this great state is always mesmerized by the deeply complex history, the unique culinary delights, and the straight-up bizarre happenings. If you're looking for a state to knock your socks off, New Mexico is the place to go. Please put a notification on all to be notified of the new video.